This is the watch list of companies that I've been looking at, that we've been tracking the Stock Gurus for the last 7 or longer months on this channel. And GameStop, I made a warning video about this. A friend of mine, a very good friend of mine who's a very smart investor, he has a theory that's come up about what's happening with GameStop. His theory is that the whole media and they want everyone to be trying to short GME. So be aware of this. So like if you've been following the forums and what they've been saying about the Reddit chat, that it's against Wall Street and it's the retailers versus the Wall Street and all this kind of stuff. Beautiful, but just stay out of it completely. Don't get caught up in these games. You're here to buy companies for the long term, amazing companies. Don't short it, don't buy it, just stay away from it. If you have money in it and you already made gains, beautiful, take them out and put them into just companies that have less problems. Or just there's a lot of things that are happening around this. So just stay out of it, because it's purely, if you're doing it based off investment perspective, it's not a good investment. If you look back like all history, that was when it was peaking in 2008 here. It was GME, GameStop was, we turn it off percentage. When it was peaking, GameStop was here at 50, what was its peak in 2008? It was peaking at $56, and then in 2013, $49. And so even at the peak of this company, when it was doing the best, it was sitting at around $50. So whatever you want to call it, whatever you think is happening with the market and everyone versus retailers versus these guys and this guys, GameStop sells games and merchandise and things like this. Now most people are buying those games and merchandise and stuff online. It's like digital games and digital products. You don't usually go to, maybe in the future it'll be an amazing company, but right now, just on value perspective, undervalued. It's like way overvalued, 5 times its price right now. So stay out of it. Don't risk your money. Don't get caught up in all this kind of stuff. These are the other companies that we've been looking at. You can see more an in-depth video about Palantir, about GameStop that I made yesterday. Well, the sunset is just like, whoa. You guys, I've got to show you just for a second. That's what I'm looking at right now while I make this video. Okay, maybe I just make the video like this and we just have this sunset as I'm talking. Like my face compared to that sunset, I don't know. Okay, you're going to look at charts anyway, so my face will make it smaller. So these are the other companies that we've been looking at. Let's sort it here by change. So this was crazy pre-markets and during market hours, up 6%. So these are the companies that we've been following. Today we're going to talk about Tesla, as we always do, because Tesla is one of our favorite companies. Elon Musk is a genius. If he watches these videos, I would gladly interview him. It would be awesome to be able to talk with him, talk future and potential and just everything. It would be awesome. So if you're one of his people, or if you have in contact with him, it'd be amazing to talk to him. So Tesla, this is what we're looking at, RSI and stochastic squeeze mob indicators. I teach you how to set up the charts exactly as you're seeing here in my course. So RSI, stochastic squeeze mob, when they're above the dotted lines, it's like keep it super simple, not to complicate things. This is the price movement of Tesla over time, by the way. I just came out of a massage. I'm just having sunset, so I'm in a very relaxed state. Okay, I get my mind focused more on this chart. So stochastic RSI above the dotted lines means this company is overvalued, too expensive right now. And we're on the longest time frame. So this is the entire history of Tesla. This is the whole history of Tesla since its company inception in 2011. And there, like you can see, the price is just like doing nothing and then poof. Beautiful since 2019, 2020, it all started. For anyone that's been following Tesla for a long time, beautiful, one amazing company. Elon Musk is a genius, changing the world, doing great things. Stochastic and RSI above the dotted lines means it's expensive. You need to dollar cost average, as I teach students, DCA. Split your capital over time and invest over time, not all in one go whenever a company is above these dotted lines. When it's below the dotted lines, this means that the company is undervalued. It's too cheap right now. Then you have to determine why is it too cheap. But right now, Tesla is an amazing company. So it's self-explanatory that it's expensive and people are extremely buying it. It would have been better if you had the same enthusiasm in 2015, but it's still an amazing company. I see Tesla being in the long run $4,000 before any further splits. So still quite a ways to go. Squeeze mob is green, turning higher and heading higher. Stochastic is overbought, so expensive, so you need to dollar cost average, but it's still turning to head higher. Same with RSI. And we have huge volume. So volume, if you've been following me a long time, you know my saying, volume predicts price. So when you have a lot of, so this is a lot of volume. So in 2016, 17, volume was very low for Tesla. And then recently, volume spiking up massively in 2019, 2020. So volume predicts price. When you have a lot of interest, when you have a lot of volume, it means there's a lot of interest in this company at the moment. So that's why people are very interested in Tesla all of a sudden. And then you can clearly see that in the volume also. So volume, buying and selling of shares. If you were to buy me sell your Tesla shares and I was to buy them from you, that's volume. So volume is the buying and selling of shares. So when there's lots of buying and selling, there's a lot of interest currently in that company. So all indicators still showing that we're going to be heading up in the long term. The main thing that you're looking at when you're looking at stocks, when you're looking at investing, is you want to be buying a company that's going up a majority of its time, that you're going with the trend. You're buying an amazing company for the long term. That's what we do here. You're trying to buy amazing companies for 10, 20 years. And that doesn't mean you don't make money in the short term. You buy them at correct technical entry points. You can even sell them depending on how the market fluctuates if you want to. I personally teach to just buy and dollar cost average for more high capital investors. But even if you're starting with just a few $1,000s, you do the same strategy. It's not about trying to make your $1,000 into millions of dollars. It's about finding a place that you put your $1,000 that your money can grow to grow consistently. You don't want to have $1,000 turn up to $30,000 and it comes crashing back down to $1,000. That's irrelevant to you. Yes, it looks nice, and yes, you got that enthusiasm, that thrill ride. But like for you personally, you want $1,000 to grow to $5,000, then $10,000, then $100,000, then $1 million, and you want to do it consistently, safely, relaxation, like no up and down crazy. And this is why you buy amazing companies for the long term. So the overall trend of Tesla, the trend is your friend, massively trending up for Tesla. Who's your friend? The trend is your friend. You always go with the trend, and me. And then you click on the 1 year time frame. And now we zoom in closer. So now we're looking at, this is the charts we've been following for Tesla for a long time. So it looks very beautiful, but they're also very functional, these charts. The overall trend of Tesla massively trending up. This was in back in October, November. A lot of the students caught this. We had a symmetrical triangle here that broke out to the base of the triangle, which was targets of 640. A lot of that hit. Then we had this targets going to 850, and now we're up in this upper kind of thing that we've been kind of creating here and following on the price of Tesla. But the main thing we're looking at is the overall trend of Tesla is massively trending up, and we look at the main trend line. So the main trend line is this one that Tesla's been following since that COVID crash, because that COVID crash put a lot of strain on the stock. So then you can kind of see it when it bounces, you can kind of see where that main trend line is formed, and that's this trend line here. So Tesla is right now way off this trend line. It's like broken off parabolically, which is beautiful, but just expect that it could theoretically play down like this is normal as it goes. It could come down to 800 or $600 mark, and then 684 bounce off and then keep going up. But in the long term, if you zoom out and get really a perspective, this is what you're looking at buying. If you keep following this trend line for the very long term, it goes up to 2000. You can see what happens after the years progress. Okay, so this is the charts like further on, going closer into what's happening with Tesla. These are supports line. This is the symmetrical triangle we had. And this is where it's kind of trying to break out. We had targets 920. It kind of hit that upper end of the trend line, didn't it? That we've had for a few months, the 903. Then this trend line came to 895. So it's actually making lower highs. But the main indicators, yes, the RSI looks like coming down, and the stochastic looks like it's trying to turn down. So it's showing that Tesla's going to try and come down for the next few trading days, next few trading weeks, but that's okay. You want this, so then you can dollar cost average, and you can average out your share price to be even lower than when you were buying at the high prices, in comparison. As it still makes its progression up to $4,000 a stock, you're just trying to, if you're looking closer into the charts, you're just trying to get better buying entries as it progresses on its massive upward. Pretty much what you're looking at is you're looking at the little hills climbing a mountain. So yes, you can play around in these little hills, but always keep in perspective the overall mountain that you're climbing is this. So go with the trend, and you can clearly see the trend of Tesla is massively trending up, but be warned, it can dollar cost average because it can come down to this main trend line of 579. It can bounce off this, do a big sweep and just come down, bounce 628 and then keep its growth up. But that's beautiful, but that's why you don't use leverage. Don't over leverage yourself. Don't over margin yourself. Don't put all your money into one stock. You want to split up your capital and you want to invest it over time into multiple stocks. To get the full perspective, www.stockguru.us. I teach it in the course. Stochastic RSI look like they're coming down. The stochastic is trying to fight its way back up. We're going to get rid of some of these support lines. We don't need them all. In pre-market, it's already down to 820. So it's already it's below this kind of support that it's trying to have here. The next major support is 712. Does it come crashing down there? The volume has consistently died down. Look at that. The volume is like, and then the volume is starting to drop down the last few weeks. The RSI also turning down, and the stochastic trying to turn down, and the squeeze mob is turning down. So all indicators are showing that Tesla is going to be coming down for a while. And because we've had this parabolic rise up, it doesn't have too much supports here. If it does come down, first support that it's got actually no major supports here. First one is 756. And it looks like Tesla could come down to this. It looks like it's trying to come back to this overall trend line. It went parabolically, like bounced off this trend line, and then it looks like it's like trying to curve back into this trend line to keep its trajectory up. Tesla is a very unique company in that there's a lot of buying interest. There's a lot of people pushing this company up. And it did break out, hit these targets, and then it's like coming down off this. It looks like it is trying to arch down. Stochastic RSI coming down, squeeze going red, RSI coming down, volume dropping off. Tesla first support, unfortunately, we're at 820. The next support is going to be 760. 775 is the next support. And then the one down here on this previous symmetrical triangle, 757 and then 712 for the midterm going into March. That looks like what's going to be happening for Tesla. Unfortunately, it does look like it will come down. But this doesn't change your strategy. If you're buying Tesla, you believe in it for the long term, your dollar cost average. So you buy this month, you buy next month, you buy the month after, you get $10,000 from selling your car, you buy another $1,000 of Tesla, and you split that $10,000 over 10 months, and you buy $1,000 of Tesla every month, and then your price will average out. Sometimes you're going to be buying here, sometimes you're going to be buying here, sometimes you're going to be buying here, but you get the overall picture. You're buying a company for the long term that you expect to have huge revenues, huge growth. But on the technicals, it does look like Tesla for the midterm. First support, 700, and I should draw that in. Okay, I can get rid of these upper targets because it does look like it is trying to curve down. And we can put in a new trend line, a new horizontal line here. So first target is, I can get rid of this 860. Sorry, there's so many lines on this chart now. We've been tracking Tesla for a very long time. These are previous support lines that we've had and targets. So that looks a little bit clearer as it comes down to this trend line. So if I was to draw the next few months for Tesla, on my perspective, how I'm seeing it play out, looks like it is coming off here, stochastic turning down, RSI turning down, squeeze going red, volume a little bit dropping off, but still slightly picking up. So hopefully it's going to find some support. But first support is where we're sitting, 820. Next one is 765, this point here. And then if that doesn't hold in the long-term time frame, then it comes down to 712. Then it continues its upward trajectory, or it comes down all the way down to this major trend line. The overall trend line that Tesla's going to follow for the next 10, 20 years is that trend line. But it can go parabolic off it like it does, but usually it's going to correct back to the overall trend line. So target's 765 and then 712 for Tesla. So it's quite a big drop. But that looks like it will put the stochastic and the RSI pretty oversold by then. If it does turn all the way down like it looks like it's going to try and do, RSI, it's going to be sharp decline if it actually does play out like this. 820, 765, then 712, hitting it by about the end of February. And then we have to see how it progresses. Does the stochastic RSI turn again? Zoop, and the volume start picking up, and then Tesla continues its upward massive trajectory, or we have to see as the months progress. But that's the target for the midterm and for the long term for Tesla. It does look like first target 765, second target 700, but keep your dollar cost average strategy of buying the stock over time, and you want to keep entering the stock at all discounts every month, buying your company. Let's zoom in closer now, and we're going to see what's going to happen for today's trading day. I'm kind of getting the same kind of picture. It went from the symmetrical triangle. The base was the targets. It kind of hit those targets, hit the upper end of this trend line. Now it's like coming down off it. And that was a big trend line that's existed for a long time, and it just coincided with this. We have one more Hail Mary if you're looking at like a big explosive movement up for Tesla, is that if this, but it's already out of it. If it was to somehow come back into this ascending wedge and play out like that, and then by the 1st of March break out to the upside, that would have been a kind of Hail Mary for Tesla. But midterm, it does look like it is dropping off, even for today's trading day. Stochastic RSI, big drop off in pre-market, already down. Stochastic open heading down. Squeeze mob going red, RSI coming down, volume dropping off. So its first target is where we're sitting, 820. Second target for Tesla is 765. There is one more support that I see here. Here, where we could have a bit of a bounce at 804. So I would say first target is going to be 804 for hopefully a bounce and that resetting the stochastic and RSI, but it looks like they're open and heading down strong. But 804 is a potential savior. If not, then it comes down to 765, and then we have to see where it progresses after that. So hit the subscribe button, the bell, and the thumbs up button so you're notified of these daily videos, and then we're going to see how Tesla plays out in the future. But for today's trading day, the first target is going to be 804 with this big drop in pre-market, 820. It's coming off this big as we look back, it was a big moment here up on this upper trend lines. But first target 704, and then hopefully that holds. If not, 765 is possible for the next few trading days for Tesla, but we'll keep track of it as it progresses. Now let's look into Twitter, and we're going to see if there's any major news that came out for Tesla, the earnings report that came out, how that is playing out with these charts that we're seeing. So this is technical analysis, valuing the company, seeing how it's moving over time with its price and its charts. And then the fundamentals are the news, the real world news, the financials of the company. So let's jump into those now. So this is Stock Guru on Twitter. You can follow me, Stock Guru. This banner kind of looks a bit too preachy. But my graphics designer, my friend who made that graphic is going to update it. She's actually a famous designer, artist, so I don't know. I'm criticizing her, but she has millions of followers, and she made it for me as a favor. So how do we criticize an artist? Faye Halliday has like literally 1.3 million followers and things on Instagram and Facebook. So I can't really criticize her work. It looks beautiful, Faye. Thank you so much. But yeah, maybe a little less preachy. So join the Stock Guru Master Course. Here, the members live chat. We have an awesome chat group now, guys, on Slack. I'm going to show you some of that. It's amazing. The amount of chat that's happening in that chat is really like amazing. It's pages and pages. Just yesterday, on yesterday's trading day, there's 43 students in there, Stock Gurus. And when I'm saying students, I'm talking about people that all have capital, all investing in companies. The average capital I think we have is around $10,000 per viewer, like a subscriber. Some of our students have Ahmed has $20 million. Many students, multi-millionaires. So we're really amazing group of people here, and now we're all in that group chat. A lot of us are, and I want you to join it as well, but make sure you take the course before you join. It's www.stockguru.us, so then you have all the information that you need before you join in the chat. And here you can just see a thread of many student reviews about the course and what they learned. Check out that thread, it's very beautiful. This is a kind of, it was funny for me, but I don't know if people found it interesting. But GME, a physical store you go to buy online digital games. Yes, it's nerdy. But it's this, the GME and AMC have nothing to do really the stock. What's happening is it's like kind of like a memoir that's happened with Wall Street, and it's very interesting what's playing out. It's like interesting, very new to the whole market. There's like insider trading, but not insider trading. It's just very interesting what's playing out. And I'm going to see, my friend has a very strong theory that this is a big. So what his theory is that the market is moving up very strongly with this whole GME and AMC, and people are piling into it. And a lot of people are saying, wow, this company is very overvalued. Why would it be so expensive? Obviously, it's going to come crashing down. So we should start shorting it. And his theory is that they're going to just pump this stock so it margin calls everyone. Everyone trying to short it, because when you're shorting a company, his theory is that they're trying to margin call many people, and that this is not like an us versus bankers, that this is a whole orchestrated thing by Wall Street and the big banks to margin call many people as they try to short this parabolic company or buy into it. I've seen this in cryptocurrency. For me, it's not such a big like, wow. If you've been following cryptocurrency for a long time, you know what happens. They pick a particular stock, they put everyone's interest on it, they get all the influencers to talk about it. Everyone starts talking about it, everyone starts piling into their money, and the people that orchestrate in the beginning, they just rug pull at the end, and then all the money, everything they take it out, and then everything comes crashing down after. And that's what seems to be playing with GME and AMC. But my friend's theory is that this is a much bigger play that they're actually pulling, and they're going to try and margin call a huge portion of people. So I would just stay away from these companies. It's something else now. So this is the live chat group. Yesterday, you can see just this is what it looks like in the Slack group. It's just pages and pages of people talking now, and just different. Alan has $1 million, and you can just many investors talking in the chat group. Join that. Yesterday, we had earnings reports for Tesla. Facebook also had stellar earnings reports. Facebook is an amazing buy. I'm just going to keep dollar cost averaging into Facebook every month and buying it. They did in that quarter, Q4, they made $28 billion in sales. $28 billion in that quarter, in that 3-month period alone. And the stock has barely moved in the last years. And Facebook is authorizing a $25 billion share buyback program. Wow, the sunset is just boom. Whoa. So it's an amazing company, but that's something I shared. Check it out on Twitter. Follow me on Twitter. See all this. This was Tesla's earnings report. So they had auto revenue of $9.3 billion, which is a big increase considering in just the last year, the same time last year was $6 billion. So it's already year on year, 46% increase. Automotive gross profit margins, 24%, total revenue, 10.7 billion. And they had a gross profit margin of 19%, but they only kept 270 million. Total gross profit. So this is the previous quarters, Q4 2019, Q3 2013. This is the recent quarter. So we just cut them out. We'll just look at the last two so it's not confusing us too much. So their revenues jumped from 7 billion in Q3, so the previous 3 months before September. And in Q4, it jumped to 30% to 9 billion. Automotive gross profits, but we want the total company gross profits. Earnings before interest and taxes, EBITDA is $1.8 billion for that quarter, which is huge actually gains compared to the previous ones. Free cash flow, they had $1.8 billion in free cash flow. And net cash, they had $3 billion. So this is financial summary, unaudited by Tesla. So but the main thing we're looking for is huge revenues, which is ticking. Every quarter, the revenues on Tesla are just getting bigger. 6 billion, 5 billion, 5 billion, 7 billion, 9 billion. Each quarter, it's starting to grow more and more. Their profit margins are getting better. But people were expecting stellar results this quarter. That's the problem. They wanted something that just blew their minds to justify this huge price. So it does need to correct down to that main trend line. But in the long run, Tesla, if you really put this into perspective, China alone needs 1 billion EV cars by 2035. Tesla is currently manufacturing 500,000 EV cars per year. So in 2022, Tesla is expected to be able to manufacture 1 million cars per year. I think they're going to do that in 2021, just with the amount of gigafactories that they're going up. But even with 1 million cars per year, it will take them 1,000 years to manufacture enough EV cars for just China's market. So two things are going to either happen. We're going to spend 1,000 years waiting for China's 2035 deadline and America's 2050 deadline for EV cars. We're going to wait 1,000 years for Tesla to start manufacturing those. Or Tesla is going to start manufacturing 30 to 100 million cars a year to actually theoretically meet the demand that is required of them for these EV car markets. So right now we're on 500,000 cars per year. So 2022, they expect 1 million cars per year. They would need 30 to 100 million cars a year just to meet within a 10-year time frame, that goal that China has, just to meet China's EV car demands. So Tesla is about to start mass manufacturing, and it's going to be huge what's happening. So now we can also go on Twitter. You can follow me on Twitter. I get a lot of messages, so if I'm missing anything, just try to talk to me on the lives or in the Slack, in the Stock Guru 24/7 live chat. I'm in there a lot also to talk to. You can follow me on Stock Guru here, and you can also follow Elon Musk because he's a genius. You follow him here. He's got space. And what you can also do is follow Tesla. So we're looking at any major news that comes out for Tesla right now. Always when the sun's about to set, like life just like gets a bit more stronger. Have you noticed that whenever sunset is going to happen, the animals and the bugs and everything kind of like give one big farewell to the sun before it goes away. I had a beautiful day. So the Model S and Model X just launched. I hope you did also. And they look amazing, but that wasn't enough news to... I think what's happening is this GME thing and the AMC thing, this is really spooking the market. It's like creating a lot of turmoil. A lot of money is flowing into this. A lot of people are like, what's going on with this? And it's starting to cross over into the other markets. Or my friend's theory of this is a big orchestration to margin call many people as they try and pile on to GME, whether they're shorting it or buying it, is possible. This is Pan's theory, and that they're just trying to margin call as many people. But anyway, whatever it's doing, it's causing a lot of turmoil in the market. The Model S refresh looks awesome. This is the Model S refresh that they're showing designs potential of. I don't know if that's actually in production now, but that looks cool. Very futuristic. Wow. When I first looked at a Tesla car, that was the reason in 2014 I started promoting, like telling everyone to buy a Tesla. When I first looked into the car and I was like touching the car, looking at inside it, I was like, what? This is like the iPhone. I've had the same feeling when I first held an iPhone early on. Tesla's shares slide as profits fall short of expectation despite record deliveries for electric vehicles. It's normal. It needs to correct to that major trend line. JP Morgan maintains underweight on Tesla, raises price target to $135. Crazy. Tesla can come down massively to that major trend line. $600 is even possible, but to drop that far, very unlikely, unless the entire stock market crashes and we have really big turmoil, which we do not want to have happen right now, and no one wants that. And I don't think that's going to play out that way. I will make a video on the Dow today to see if that could play out, but hopefully not. Tesla 2020 results are in. 500,000 more electric cars, profits, free cash flow, 19 billion cash pile. So they have massive amounts of cash right now. And it just looks like all things go for Elon Musk. And that's amazing because he's changing the world and making it better. So we're trying to find any other major news. 100 billion in outstanding Tesla calls. So now we know that target highly shorted companies and buy call options. Things Works, GME, AMC are ready to actually look at Tesla because they're saying there's a lot of short interest that if they did the same thing to AMC and Elon Musk's Tesla has reinvented the steering wheel literally, and it looks awesome. This is actually the new like kind of designs that they're putting out. Wow, it looks cool. Very futuristic. And they even have The Witcher in there. Nice. If anyone's been buying OTGOY or Netflix, you know about this. We've been buying a lot of The Witcher, but that looks, I really like the wooden trim. Steering wheel looks cool. I mean, and it's got, look, 2 screens there on the S. Very nice. Simplistic, but just like amazingly futuristic. Very nice design. Good job, Tesla team. Let's share that. Shoot. Plaid Model S is the first production car to achieve 0 to 60 in under 2 seconds. Wow. Thank you. We are here at Tesla have to throw a crypto party of sort. No, seems scaring me. Be careful of that. New steering wheel comes with autopilot sensor-based driver modes, force touch buttons. Whoa, it's got force touch. Autopilot sensor-based drive modes, autopilot sensor-based drive modes. Let's check out what that's talking about. It seems like people are force touch, buttons, and more. Tesla's new steering wheel more than meets the eye. They did a refresh for the 2020 Model S, Model X, highly anticipated. The interior design complete refresh, new steering wheel. The ultimate focus on driving, no stalks, no shifting. With a stalkless steering yoke, you can enjoy both the best car to drive and the best car to be driven in. It's actually like minimalizing the need for a steering wheel, right? Because it's all becoming self-driving. They're starting to move that way in Tesla. It's amazing what Tesla's doing. Do not short this company. Even if it does drop, do not short this company. It's just like wrong to short this company. Just buy this company in dollar cost average over time. He's changing the world. He's literally making the future happen for us. Why would anyone try to stop this? I couldn't believe it when people were trying to stop this in 2019 when he smoked a joint, CNBC, all those guys telling you, stay away, Tesla's at $200, get out, he's smoking weed. I was saying bye. So it's same scrolls found in the Model 3, Model Y wheel, but now features new force touch buttons, turn signals, beam, so it's like touch buttons. It wasn't enough to justify this earnings report, but it does look very futuristic, and I see where they're going. They're going full self-driving. They're really pushing this self-driving mode. And of course, the speed, 2 seconds to 0 to 60. You can play Witcher 3, Cyberpunk, and many more. This is OTGLY. That's what's also amazing. This is coming up on my radar a lot. OTGLY, the company we've been buying a lot of that we bought on the 30% drop. It's pretty much recovered already, but it's still, I believe, very undervalued, this Polish company. They're the makers of The Witcher 3 and Cyberpunk, and I just buy OTGLY, dollar cost average, and over time, I really will. That's what I'm going to be doing. I'm going to be buying OTGLY. Tesla had 83% increase in energy storage deployments in 2020, that's amazing. Wow, there's a lot of like just good news for Tesla. Tesla stock is the original GameStop. So that's the major news. Madness, just madness. Price 112,000, 120 horsepower sedan, 200 miles per hour top speed. Tesla CEO Elon Musk failed to get critic defamation lawsuit thrown out. But Tesla added $3 billion to operating cash flow in 2020 Q4. That's huge. They have a lot more cash now. So this is cash flow from operations. So they started just recently really becoming cash flow positive. So they're not using debt anymore to fund everything. It's actually from the sales of the cars and the production. They're able to keep funding its growth. This is very good news. This company is people are really underestimating how big this company is. It's going to be the biggest company in the world. Just to get to that valuation, to get to the same valuation that currently that Apple has, it needs to go up around 300% from where we are right now. And I believe that's going to happen very soon. The Model S refresh is a drive into the future. We've seen all this beautiful, wow, look at that, amazing. So that's the main news. The earnings report was stellar, but the price is overbought right now. It does need to correct. The overall market seems to have a little bit of a pullback right now. But if you believe in Tesla for the long term, they're doing amazing things. Dollar cost average into this company. The technicals are as I showed them. Unfortunately, it does look like Tesla might come down to those supports. I know that's not what you want to hear. But remember, you're buying companies for the long term, and it can play Cyberpunk. Elon Musk really likes Cyberpunk, huh? So does every gamer. The Witcher and Cyberpunk games are really popular right now. I haven't played Cyberpunk recently. I'm not so into gaming recently. I used to be a big gamer. So that's the major news. So I do see Tesla coming down on the technicals. So I hope you learned a lot. I hope you got a lot of insights. This is why Twitter is just amazing. You can just type in Tesla and you can go on an endless journey here.